This video is brought to you by Squarespace. In this video, I'm gonna let you in on some secrets that separate those who are advanced or even fluent in English from the beginners. And no, it's not just about grammar or having a huge vocabulary, it's about these 7 key differences that are often overlooked because these are not typically the things you learn from a textbook. And at the end of the video, I will reveal the number 1 area you should be focusing on to sound even more fluent than some intermediate English learners. The first key difference is that advanced English speakers sprinkle in slang when they talk. It's not just about your pronunciation or your wide range of vocabulary. If you can casually throw in some slang or jokes when you're speaking English, that probably means your English is pretty advanced. It's about all the stuff that you won't find in your typical textbook, and it shows that you have gone beyond just memorizing all of those typical phrases in English. You have actually immersed yourself in the English or American culture. You understand cultural references and drop slang naturally, just like a native speaker would. Slang also helps make your speech more relaxed and not so formal, and this is actually how people talk in English in their everyday lives. It doesn't mean that now you have to start dropping those Gen Z phrases like "it's giving," "slay," or "no cap." No, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just use those informal everyday expressions like "same here," "my bad," or "to have a blast." These are all informal English phrases that native speakers use very often. I want to show you this TikTok where you can see that a lot of native speakers are actually tired of using or hearing the expression "it's giving."
It's giving someone's been hitting the gym. It's giving protein shakes. It's giving health is wealth.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, it's giving humble.
It's giving kind of means that from talking to you, the energy or the vibe I'm getting is that you are humble, you've been hitting the gym, health is wealth. In the second video, the slang they're actually using is very, very useful, so I highly recommend watching the full video. So let's see. The first expression is "I understand." Instead of saying "I understand," you can say "I get it."
I agree, me too.
Same here.
I like chocolate. Same here.
My mistake.
My bad.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Kiss.
Make out.
Okay, here to kiss and to make out, I would say these 2 words are a little bit different. Like the intensity of the words is a little bit different because to make out is to actually kiss very passionately, and to kiss is just to kiss.
Muscular.
Jacked.
Jacked. This guy is jacked.
Disappointment.
Bummer.
Have fun.
Have a blast.
Too expensive.
A ripoff.
I would say a lot of slang expressions, their intensity is a little bit higher because a ripoff means that somebody was literally asking for so much money. They were trying to be dishonest with you, like it's literally a ripoff.
Make a mistake.
Screw up.
I would also add that with the expression "to screw up," it's really important where you put the emphasis on, because I feel like the girl said something like a screw up, because if you're using this expression as a noun, and you can say "I'm a screw up." But if you want to use it as a verb, you have to say "I screwed up." The stress is going to be more on the preposition up in this situation. Okay, so what actionable tip can I give you? How can you pick up slang in English if you don't live in an English-speaking country? First of all, what I would not recommend is trying to learn slang or very conversational English from textbooks or blogs or English teaching websites, just because the slang of yesterday is not the slang of today. And slang changes so rapidly. That is why the best place to learn slang, whether you're a native or a non-native English speaker, is going to be social media. It is the best way to pick up a more casual way of speaking. And guys, even native speakers pick up slang from the internet all the time, especially TikTok or Instagram, because these 2 apps are extremely fast-paced. They have content that is trending right now, so probably people there are using modern day slang. Honestly, all you need to do is stay on your For You page and consume content that native speakers make for other native speakers. That's it. It's super easy. You can obviously write down all the vocabulary you're learning from those videos, like set aside 15 minutes to go over all of these words and think if you would use them in your conversations. Like, I know the word "to screw up." Doesn't mean that I'm going to use it. Sometimes I prefer to use the expression to make a mistake. I made a mistake, I'm sorry, instead of saying I screwed up. Because using slang is also like a personality thing. If you think slang fits into your personality, then please use it. But obviously, as an English learner, understanding slang is always a bonus. As you grow more confident in English, you might find yourself wanting to express your skills or experiences in a new way. Whether it's through starting a blog, showcasing your talents, or launching your own project. That is where today's sponsor, Squarespace, comes in. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to build your online presence, whether you're starting a blog, showcasing your portfolio, or even selling products. One of the things that I love about Squarespace is how incredibly easy it is to use, even if you're not tech savvy. You don't need to be a coding expert to have a professional website up and running in no time. Let me show you how I have been using Squarespace to create my own website. First of all, Squarespace's design intelligence feature takes their 2 decades of design experience and integrates it with cutting-edge AI to help you create a unique, visually stunning website without the hassle. It adapts to your preferences, ensuring that your website looks both personalized and professional. Second, their equity scheduling. If you're like me and offer consultations or services, Squarespace also has an integrated tool called equity scheduling, which makes it super easy to manage appointments and even accept payments, all from your website. And finally, their email campaigns. If you're looking to grow your audience, Squarespace offers tools for running email campaigns to keep your subscribers engaged and drive more traffic to your content. So if you're ready to take your passion project to the next level, head to squarespace.com/Veronika to start your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the code Veronika for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Trust me, it's one of the best investments you'll make to showcase your skills and launch your dream project. Now let's get into the second difference that separates beginners in English from advanced learners, and it is just as important as slang. And that is, advanced English speakers understand humor, because humor is a huge part of the culture. So if you understand that aspect of language, not just all the words, grammar, pronunciation rules, but also humor, it means that you already know a lot of things about the culture of this country. Advanced English speakers can catch double meanings, sarcasm, and subtle humor in conversations. We have all been there as language learners. You're in a group and then someone says something funny, everyone laughs, and you have no idea why that was funny. You feel embarrassed, awkward, you're the only one sitting with a blank face. And so that is exactly why humor has so many great advantages. It can improve your conversations, make you seem more approachable, and help you bond and form relationships. Humor comes in all shapes and sizes in English. So what does it mean to have an understanding of humor? It means understanding things like idioms. Like I just said, humor comes in all shapes and sizes. See what I did here? Or puns like, I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Awkward silence, I know. Or sarcasm like, yay, I have to go back to work tomorrow. Now, if you don't understand any of these references, don't worry, because understanding them requires some knowledge of the cultural background. And obviously, as a non-native English speaker, no one expects you to know everything about a foreign culture immediately. So the actionable tip I can give you here is a part of your 15 minutes a day intentionally scrolling on TikTok trying to pick up slang, follow and watch more entertainment style content creators. There's one creator on TikTok that I really like. It's Tilly.
Take this into your brother. He's on his Xbox having some downtime.
You need to stop cooking for him. He's 30.
He's exhausted. He's been babysitting all weekend.
It's not babysitting, they're his kids.
If you like a specific phrase or maybe a skit, you can keep track of everything on Notion in your notebook, and then if you feel like it, you can build a collection of your own jokes in English and then use them if you want to make people laugh. I want to remind you guys that I have my own language learning template for Notion. You can learn one language or multiple languages there. You can keep track of all of your words, your grammar rules you're trying to learn. So the link to check out the Notion template will be down in the description. Okay, the next difference is that advanced English speakers can talk about a wide range of topics. Because let's think about it. In your native language, you switch between topics very fast. You don't even think about it. You can talk about your favorite TV show, the weather, or your career plans. All of these are pretty distinct topics, but obviously in your native language, you don't even think about it. It comes super naturally to you. And the same goes for advanced English speakers. They can just easily jump from one topic to another without even thinking about it, even if the subjects are completely unrelated. One actionable tip I can give you guys here is one of the easiest ways to start broadening your knowledge in a bunch of different areas is to interact with different communities on Reddit. There are so many different communities or subreddits dedicated to pretty much any topic you can think of. One subreddit that I have been liking a lot lately is called Am I Overreacting? We can see one post here that already has over 9,000 upvotes. So it's a story. Obviously, you actually have to read it, understand everything, but because it's real people sharing their real stories, being frustrated, looking for advice, the language they're using is very modern and very conversational. So obviously the person is explaining the story. They even attach some screenshots from their conversation. Very useful because you can see how native speakers text in English. And then you can also read all of the responses, like what other people think about the situation. Other subreddits that I really like that you can join include Explain Like I'm 5, if you want simple explanations for complex topics, Ask Science, if you want to learn about cool science stuff, or the subreddit Relationships, if you like drama. And we all do, and that really helps you improve your English. The next difference is that advanced English speakers can think in English. You guys know that right now I'm actively learning Spanish, and to be honest, I'm not at this stage yet where I am always thinking in Spanish when I want to speak Spanish. But with English, I am at this stage. Like right now, I'm communicating my thoughts to you guys, and I don't need to pause to think how this word is translated to English from my native language. No, that is not what I'm doing right now. I'm just speaking to you in English. And this honestly happens naturally when you become super comfortable with the language. When your brain can process all of your thoughts, all of your ideas in English, and this doesn't require additional cognitive load, you're not making yourself too tired by constantly thinking in English. And so this is by no means a skill that is easy to master. So even if you can think in English with a few phrases or a few simple sentences, that's already progress. So the actionable tip I can give you here is something that helped me a lot when I was actively learning English. I was basically trying to think in simple words, and then from that, I was building simple sentences. Like, I woke up, now I'm making tea. Then I'm going to clean my room. Difference number 5 is that advanced English speakers can speak without thinking of grammar. Imagine you're having a conversation with a native English speaker and they say, I've lived in New York City for 5 years. And you might ask them, why are you using have lived here instead of just saying, I live in New York City? And they might look at you and say, I don't know. I guess it just sounds right. This is super common with native speakers. They don't consciously think of grammar when they speak in English. It just sounds right, and that's why they say it. And when you reach this point, when you're using grammar naturally without overthinking it, it's a sign that you have internalized the rules. You're no longer relying on everything you have learned in class. You are speaking based on what feels right. And it doesn't just feel right, it sounds right. So the actionable tip from me here is the following. A lot of our ability to write and speak in English comes from thinking in English. So if you can improve your ability to think in English, you will naturally improve your ability to write and speak. So after reflecting on your day, dedicate some time at the end of your day to journal. Just write whatever comes to mind, whether it's about your day, the stuff you thought about in your head, or even a fictional story. The key is to let your thoughts flow freely without pausing to correct yourself. The idea of this exercise is to help your brain to start thinking in English, to practice expressing your ideas naturally, which a lot of learners really struggle with. Difference number 6 is that advanced English speakers can understand different accents, including non-native accents. It's not a secret that English is spoken all around the world, so you will come across not just native accents like American or British English, but also a lot of different non-native native accents from places like India or Singapore. And being able to understand all of these different accents is super important because in real life, as an English learner, you will interact with a lot of different people from all over the world, whether it's at work or while you're traveling or watching a video on YouTube. So to improve your understanding of different accents, the actionable tip I want to give you is to follow different creators, not just Americans or not just people who live in the UK. Follow people who live in Australia, people who are not native English speakers but who still make content in English, like me, for example. One YouTuber that I absolutely love who lives in Australia is Sarah from the channel Sarah's Day. Her videos are a lot of fun. You're listening to this Australian accent and improving your comprehension to be able to understand people who live in Australia. And finally, difference number 7 is that advanced English speakers have native-like pronunciation. Because speaking English is not just about how many words you know, it's also about how you say them. According to research by UCLA professor Albert Mehrabian, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, 7% of the meaning of communication is the words we use. 38 is how we speak, and 55 is our body language, facial expressions, and everything else. So what I want to focus on is that 38%. So how you're speaking the words. Because depending on your intonation, for example, sometimes one sentence can have a million different meanings. Let's look at this example. She only gave him some money. Depending on where you place the emphasis, the meaning will change. You can say she only gave him some money. Emphasizing only will mean that she didn't give him a lot of money, just a small amount. If you say she only gave him some money, emphasizing the word him, it will mean that she gave money to him specifically, not to others. Kind of rude. And if you say she only gave him some money, emphasizing the word some, it will mean that she didn't give him all the money, just part of it. So the actionable tip I can give you here is when you're learning pronunciation, try to be very intentional. Actually pay attention to how people say words, what words they're stressing, and what words they are kind of combining together. And what helped me improve my pronunciation in English and become more intentional is mimicking the pronunciation of native speakers. Basically using the technique shadowing. I've talked about this technique so much on this YouTube channel because this is something that helped me. I'm gonna give you guys an example of how I shadow by using a video I have right here. So let's check it out.
Hey Vogue, it's Hailey Bieber and I am back
Hey Vogue, it's Hailey Bieber.
Again doing beauty secrets.
And I'm back again doing beauty secrets.
I'm gonna walk you guys through my everyday
makeup routine.
Makeup routine and I'm gonna also do my date night glow.
And I'm also gonna do my date night
glowy going out makeup look.
Glowy going out makeup look. As you can see, I'm literally mimicking everything. And after watching the video, what you can do is mute the sound of the video completely and then record yourself reading the captions, or if you have the script printed out, reading the script and then comparing your pronunciation, the way you pronounce sounds, the way you sound, if there are still some things you want to work on. Obviously, I understand that I'm not Hailey Bieber, that I will never sound like her because we are two different people. But what I'm trying to do here is work on my pronunciation. Maybe there are certain sounds that are still really tricky, really challenging for me to say. And so the point of this practice is not to compare yourself too much with native speakers because they are native speakers. You have your own path and you are moving towards your own goals. The point is to be intentional about your English pronunciation. So guys, I think it's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to build your own website, you can do so on Squarespace. Just use my link in the description, squarespace.com/Veronika, to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. For those of you who are curious what the most important skill for learning English is, I have a video about it right here. So you can just click right here and keep on watching.